Hi there, this is Kathy.
And Chris.
And here today I'm going to make you my favorite recipe with some canned venison. Chris got a deer this fall and we can a lot of our things because we live in a RV full time, so we don't have a lot of freezer space. So we have a quart of canned venison and also some oyster mushrooms that we canned this fall too. I'm going to be using those.
And we have a YouTube video on both of them, how to can the venison and the oyster mushrooms.
You could also use fresh ingredients if you wanted to use fresh beef or venison or fresh mushrooms. That would just take a little longer for the cooking process.
You could use the dehydrated mushrooms as well. We got comb tooth and black trumpets there. I think the chanterelles would go good, and hen of the woods. I wouldn't use chicken of the woods though.
No, I don't think they would have the right texture for this recipe. And here in my pan, I have a half a cup of chopped onions and 1 clove of minced garlic with 2 tablespoons of butter that I already got going because everybody I think knows how to do that much anyways. So that's getting nice and hot here. Turn it up a little bit more. They're just nice and golden in the pan. The next thing I'm going to add, I have 1 cup of the juice from the venison and a little from the mushroom jar too. If you don't have enough when you drain it, you can just use some water and some bouillon cubes too to make up for it, but this makes a really nice gravy. So I have 1 cup here I'm going to add to the pan. There we go. Let that come to a boil. Then we're going to add the thickening to it. If you're using fresh meat, at this point you could have sauteed it, you would have added in half a teaspoon of salt, but this doesn't really need any salt because we add it to our canning jars. But let that get all of the nice crusty stuff off the bottom of the pan there from sauteing. Bring it up to a nice boil. On the side here I have 1/4 cup of flour with a 1/2 cup of juice that I had reserved. I'm going to put that in here and make kind of a slurry for the thickening. Works really good. Stir it up with my fork here and try to get all the lumps out. My stuff is getting nice and warm over here. Try to get out as many as you can. They'll cook down while you're doing it as well.
When this is all done, what do you serve it on?
Well, we always use it with like some nice buttered noodles, which is my favorite way, but you could also use some wild rice or some crusty French bread that you toasted. There, I think I got most of the lumps out. Add that in there. It's boiling nice. Just let it get all nice and thick and bubbly. If you're not using fresh ingredients, this goes really quick because everything is already cooked for you. Stir that all up. It's starting to thicken up really nice.
How much venison are you using?
Well, I have a quart jar there, but I only like to use like half of it because then we save the other half for making sandwiches or something else. Don't have to use it all.
That's thickening up nice.
Yep. Alright. Then I'm going to add 1/3 cup of ketchup here. This you can use to taste. Just any of the ingredients actually. Just put in what you think tastes good. I always put like 1/3 cup in. Mix that all up nice. Nice and thick. There. And at this point I'm going to add my mushrooms that I have here.
And those are canned oysters.
Yep. And we're just heating things up at this point. You don't have to cook anything really. So they're just heating up. And then I'll add our meat here that we have set aside. I like to add it last because it's so tender. If you over stir it, it'll just fall right apart. So I like to keep the chunks from breaking apart in there. Just stir them in until they get heated up. Like so. And then just before you would serve it, I have a cup of sour cream that I'm going to add. And this also you can add to taste if you want a little bit more, a little bit less. It's a very rich food. There. Just kind of fold it in, not breaking up the meat at all. And then, when that's all done, you can use some fresh parsley that I have put aside here to serve over the top of it. We dried some this fall, so we had to use for the winter. Some of that. Just like this. Make it look all pretty. And Chris likes to put some Parmesan cheese on top of his too, and that's another option you can do, but there you go. Venison Stroganoff.
It looks good. I know it tastes good. So I hope you like this YouTube video. Share it, especially with people that hunt deer and can their own venison. Is a great recipe. You can join us on Facebook if you're into hunting, fishing, trapping, gathering, RVing, whatever. Just look for us at All Things Wild and look for the canoe at the top of the page. And thanks for watching.
Thanks for watching.